Every January, social media floods with the same promise. Dedicate 14 days to this circuit of crunches, and you'll walk away with a shredded midsection. But human physiology doesn't work that way. Doing 1,000 sit-ups does not instruct your body to burn the fat directly above your stomach. The concept of spot reduction, targeting fat loss in one specific area through localized exercise, is a biological myth. To understand why, we have to look at the actual anatomy. Your core features a pair of long muscles called the rectus abdominis. They are segmented by a fibrous band of connective tissue known as the linea alba, along with horizontal collagen bands. That intersecting grid creates the distinct visual shape we call a six-pack. You already have this exact structure. Everyone does. But for the vast majority of people, those muscles are entirely obscured under a blanket of subcutaneous fat, the fat stored just beneath the skin. If 2 weeks of aggressive core workouts are physically incapable of targeting and burning away that specific layer of fat, what does it actually take to reveal the muscle underneath? Abdominal exercises are highly effective at building muscle thickness, but using them to remove the barrier hiding those muscles is like trying to dig a trench with a hammer. It is simply the wrong tool for the job. This chart shows average American body fat. Men sit between 26 and 30%. While women average 25 to 31. For visible definition, men need 10 to 15%. For women, the threshold is higher, between 18 and 22%. That discrepancy exists because of essential fat. Women require roughly 10 to 13% essential body fat for proper organ function and reproductive health, whereas men only require 2 to 5%. A woman at 20% body fat is at roughly the same level of leanness as a man at 12%. Bridging the gap from average to defined requires a sustained caloric deficit. To see why dietary changes are more efficient, consider that a person has to cycle for an hour to burn 500 calories, the same amount you can remove from the equation by skipping a single blended coffee drink. Because managing intake is less time-consuming than high-volume training, the math heavily favors nutrition over exercise. This graph tracks the actual timeline. For a 180-pound person trying to drop 12 percentage points of body fat at a healthy 500-calorie daily deficit, it takes roughly 14 weeks. A 14-day routine barely registers on this curve. Revealing your core is a whole-body mathematical equation of energy balance, executed consistently over a quarter of a year. To accelerate that math, look at how we train. Clinical data on high-intensity interval training shows it reduces abdominal fat far more effectively than moderate aerobic exercise. Short maximum effort bursts increase post-exercise fat oxidation and drive up energy expenditure. But losing fat isn't enough. Without heavy compound resistance training like squats and deadlifts, your body will burn through lean tissue alongside the fat. Preserving that muscle mass ensures the rectus abdominis actually protrudes enough to be seen once the fat layer is stripped away. Even with perfect training, genetics are a wild card. Android body types retain fat in the midsection, while gynoid types store it in the hips. Genes also dictate muscle symmetry and skin thickness. Two people at the same body fat percentage can look entirely different. The thermodynamics of weight loss are universal, but the final aesthetic result is heavily bounded by your individual, unchangeable genetic blueprint. The internet promises a 14-day shortcut to a shredded midsection, but the biological data proves it takes 14 weeks of sustained effort to actually move the needle. Revealing a six-pack demands a long-term caloric deficit to remove the fat, heavy compound training to preserve the muscle beneath it, and a favorable set of genetics to shape the final look. That visible grid of muscle is rarely a measure of athletic performance or isolated core strength. It is a reflection of intense dietary discipline and a very low body fat percentage. By abandoning the fiction of 2-week quick fixes, you stop chasing physiological impossibilities. You can finally focus on the science of long-term body